he wanted, I would accept, but just help me.
So this guy loves surrendering to the entities. Isn't that interesting? A lot of them do that. Programming. Interesting when you think about it, isn't it?
And the next instant, all my pain was gone.
I'm going to keep mentioning whatever the fuck I want, whatever I notice. He's kind of an interesting character. A diabolical system of guilt trips and deception. That's the title given by this NDE research project guy. This guy that runs this channel. Could be Mark from Huey/Mark, whatever his name is, the creep from Forever Conman channel that likes to dress up in women's clothing. It might be him starting a second channel. But you notice the likes, 195 views. It's already got 43 likes. People love this shit. They love it. Now, what's wrong with analyzing NDEs? Nothing. But I think this guy doesn't do the greatest job of it. And I'm suspicious of him because he's connected with, he praises Forever Conman channel. I've seen him over there praising him in the chat and in his comments. So they're connected. So right off the bat, that's huge alarm bells and huge red flags going off.
Why do you gotta be suspicious of me? I'm just a shekels lover. I'm a grifter. Give me $150 an hour to speak to me on a phone call. Come on, guys. Book a Forever Conman session to speak with me on the phone. I need some more money for my $1 million South Florida mansion. Come on, guys. Give me some money. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Guys, I want all the shekels, guys. Give me more shekels. Give me more shekels. Give me more.
Blocks away, I could hear the wind blowing through the grass and leaves of the neighbor's yard. I could hear insects crawling in the walls of my own house. I'd never heard it sound like that before. I thought,
Got insects crawling in your house.
wow, I'm really healed. This is amazing.
What a dumbass. Wow, I'm really healed. This is amazing. You didn't think there was anything wrong. Fascinating. We're in a realm full of zombies.
Sound like that before. I thought, wow, I'm really healed. This is amazing. And I could smell.
Then he thought, oh, I'm dead. This is not good. I can't help but laugh at this because it's like a species of retards. That's what it is. And this isn't uncommon, by the way. People to be at the level of this guy having this NDE. Most humans are at this level. They're easily duped, easily deceived spiritually, easily. And they jump to false conclusions. They make stupid assumptions. They're easily tricked. They get angry if you tell them that there's tricks after death, after the body dies. Most humans are functioning at such a fucking low level that they're the perfect slaves for the system. It's almost impossible to wake them up. Almost impossible. I wish it wasn't. I wish I could go around sharing the truth with people and their eyes would open up and they'd get curious and go, oh, I'm going to look into that and be a truth seeker and try to understand spirituality and life and death. And I'm going to pay attention and learn something. That's extraordinary. That almost never happens in this realm. Most are like this guy, clueless and jumping to stupid conclusions that don't make sense.
And while I was engaged in that, I felt this sense of presence of evil start to approach me. I could feel like something really bad was coming.
Evil. Now, this is interesting because I've been around dying people, loved ones, family members, and sometimes evil comes around. I think that's very common. Now, stupid people, lazy-minded zombies would say, if evil comes around, it means you're evil. It means your loved one's evil. No, not at all. I think evil visits all of us on the way out, or it tries to. Now, some dumb people, weak people would be afraid, but smart people would say, oh, well, then I'm going to be prepared for it. I'm going to prepare here while I'm in this realm before I leave my body. That's what a smart being would do. There aren't that many smart beings in this realm, unfortunately.
Nearer and nearer. And I stood up and looked around and said, what's going on? And then right through the wall of my living room walked these two creatures. They were man-sized, but they were not people. They were covered with dark, short fur, almost black. They had arms and legs like people, but they weren't wearing any clothing, and they didn't have any genitalia, but otherwise they were naked. Their eyes were bright yellow, and when they opened their mouths, I could see a bright red tongue and white fangs. And on the tips of their fingers and their toes were talons rather than fingers.
Maybe they were angels. They just looked creepy and scary. Maybe they were angels. Maybe you should have done the human mind trick and just warped your mind and done the mental gymnastics to say they must be nice. Everything's good, right?
And they were both carrying manacles, big, heavy metal manacles. There were two of them, and they were very strong. I could just sense enormous strength in them. And they were hungry. The overwhelming sense of what I experienced was they were very hungry.
They were very hungry for you. They were looking at you like you're a meal. They were looking at you the way some darkies have looked at me when they get off the boat and they're working somewhere in Canada or across the border over in the States. And they're dark as dark, and they're looking at me like, oh, he looks like a vanilla ice cream cone. They were looking at you. They were looking at you. And I'm making fun of this because it is funny. Maybe after you do this for years, you'll see that it is funny, that you can't convince people of anything in this realm. And if you don't laugh about it, it's going to be very painful and very frustrating. What do I mean by that? I could have this guy face to face or on my channel live talking to me one-on-one, and he would probably disagree and argue with everything I could tell him without looking into it, because that's what humans do. Most humans, they argue and disagree and slander and dismiss things with no investigation. They prefer programming. They prefer lies, programming, fear, religions. They prefer everything other than the truth. That's what humans have shown me in my lifetime here. Rare are the ones that want any truth. There's a few, but out of the whole realm, there's not very many at all. They don't want to hear it.
They regarded me as food and fuel for their purposes, and they had come to take my spirit, my soul to hell. And they gave me images of what hell was going to be like. It was chaotic. It was horrible.
Well, to scare you, they get more so-called louche, if you want to call it louche, food. You're a taste of your meal if they can scare you.
It was pain, suffering, torment, hunger, thirst. Every possible thing that could be bad was there. And it was so awful that you wouldn't want your worst enemy to go there. I could not hate. And they were going to take me to hell. And I was like indignant. It's like, I'm a Christian. I was born again, baptized. Christ is my Savior. I've confessed my sins. I read the Bible and pray every day. I go to church every week, and so forth. And they laughed. That was hilarious.
There's the programming. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. And then he says, and they laughed. They laughed.
They thought that was really funny.
Being a Christian doesn't help you. So they're talking about benevolent, and yeah, they're often mocked and laughed at because they don't take you seriously. You're following a belief system. You have a slave mindset when you're following a religion. That makes you a slave. I've explained this before. If you have a lord, a ruler, a master, a god, an authority above you, then by definition, you're a slave. And why do I say by definition? Because I didn't even define it. It's not me mocking you and belittling you, saying you're a slave. Ha ha ha. It's not like that. It's by definition. If you have a master, a lord, a god, a ruler above you, then by definition, you are a slave. It's not Stephen calling you a slave to mock you. This is what, unfortunately, a lot of humans are at that level. They come to my channel and they think, oh, he's mocking us and he's calling us this. And I'm saying what you are by definition. I'm trying to teach you something. But people are so easily offended and insulted and thin-skinned little snowflakes in this realm. Generations of them now. It didn't just start recently. There are people my age that are snowflakes, unfortunately, and older boomers that are snowflakes.
And then they transmitted to me all these sins that I had never dealt with properly. And it was a very long list. And there were things that I had not even known were sins that were really enough to go to hell for that I had done.
If people want to watch this channel, go ahead. But I told you who he's connected with. And by the way, I emailed this guy and wanted to do an interview. He's not going to, I don't think he'll do an interview because I think he's part of Mark's little group, Forever Con Man, nasally voice Forever Con Man research channel. So they're all connected behind the scenes, these channels. I tried to expose this to people to help you out, to help you see through it. If you don't want to see through it, that's your issue. If you submit to a life review, you're already fucked at that point because they're going to guilt trip you. They're going to make you believe that you're a sinner, that you deserve to go to hell, or that you deserve to keep coming back here to pay for your so-called karma, fake karma in this life. They're going to mindfuck you if you deal with these entities. Malevolent entities. Well, they're all malevolent as far as I can tell that are part of this matrix. There's no quote unquote good angels that come to rescue you. It's a trick. Okay.
Just a simple example was being hurt with a cashier at a supermarket because things were going too slowly. That's a sin. And, not paying my rent was a sin. And
they convince this guy that everything's a sin. He doesn't even know what sin means. He's an engineer. He considers himself to be intelligent as a problem solver. You're getting duped by entities fooling you, creatures with claws that want to feast on you. And you're believing them that being curt with a checkout girl is a sin. I mean, you just don't get it, dude. You don't get it. But I'm not just picking on this guy. And this is where quite a number of my audience gets thrown off thinking, Stephen, you're so harsh with this guy. Most of humanity's at this guy's level, whether you recognize that or not. A lot of you, I don't think, really do. That the people around you out in public are at this guy's level. If you talk to them, you'd have a hard time convincing them of anything that I speak about on my channel. Goes back to Mission Impossible. Most are like this guy. He's believing evil entities that want to eat him as food, telling him of his sins of being curt with a fucking checkout girl at a supermarket, as though that's a sin deserving of eternity in hell. Again, most people on earth function at this guy's level, whether you're aware of it or not. And some of you aren't. Some of you have a long way to go in terms of noticing what level humanity's at, because you think it's bad to even notice and judge them. You're carrying that programming in your fucking head saying, well, if I judge them for being stupid, then I'm bad. How about you start trying to see things as they actually are? That might help you.
in some sense, I've been taught in the church that if you confess your sins, that's sufficient. But no, if you materially harm someone, you have to make it right. If you hurt them.
You just go by whatever you're told, whether it's in church or a malevolent entity. You have no fucking mind and will of your own. No mind, no will, no discernment, no moral compass. Just believe what you're fucking told. Do what you're told, essentially. It's been drilled into his head and he goes, oh, okay, I'll do what I'm told. I'll believe what I'm told. This is what I mean by slave syndrome. This is slave think, this guy. He's a slave to whatever he's told. No backbone, no backbone.
Monetarily, you better pay them. If you've taken some property from them, you better restore it. So I was going to hell.
So this guy tries to drop some little truth bombs, going to hell for not paying rent, even though rents have skyrocketed because mega corporations such as BlackRock have been buying up vast amounts of land. Is that true? Yes. Yes, it is. So am I faulting him for that? No. Is it ridiculous to go to hell for not paying your rent? Yeah, it is. It is. Would it be difficult to convince most Christians? Yeah, it would be. Just like this guy with the glasses. He doesn't want to see the truth. He wants to be programmed. And eventually, I think some of you might start to realize that and sink in and go, you know what? It isn't just that they're programmed. They want to be programmed and lied to. It's more comfortable for them than thinking for themselves. You might start to see what I call the master-slave dynamic. It's a relationship. It isn't just evil that's overpowering at the top and slaves that are weak and can do nothing about it. They enjoy their slavery. They don't want to be on their own saying fuck these fake authorities and stand alone. They don't want to do that. They enjoy their slavery. I think most people will leave this realm without understanding even that much about humanity. That humanity, for the most part, wants the slavery that they have, and they'll fight to keep it. They will fight to silence men like me speaking the truth because they want to remain slaves.
If you've materially harmed someone, you have to make it right. If you hurt them monetarily, you better pay them. If you've taken some property from them, you better restore it. So I was going to hell.
Yeah, damnation. That makes sense. He's being damned for, he said a few curt words to a slow working cashier at a supermarket. Send him to hell. But the matrix entities in the astral dimensions never seem to point out their fellow parasites in the physical dimension, creating extra suffering. Well, they're working with them. I don't know why people can't see this. It's just so obvious. They're one and the same. Some of them are working on this level. Others are working in the astral. They're the same type of entity. These evil creatures, creepy creatures. Instead, it's guilt, shame, and damnation for the poor individuals who can't pay their rent. Well, there you go. Well, it's a guilt, shame, lie, deception, trickery system. It's a slave system. One of the ways to control slaves is guilt them and shame them. Psychologically and emotionally, guilt them and shame them. Control the minds and the bodies will follow. You're in a mind control system.
And I realized I had no argument. They had me.
This dumb guy says he had no argument. They had me.
Was approaching me. Something very beautiful, very holy was coming into my house. And Jesus Christ himself walked into my living room now. And he looked at
Jesus, praise Jesus. Jesus walked in. A fake Jesus walked in. And this guy believes it was him. That must be the real Jesus. It looks like him. It must be Jesus. It looks like Jesus. Surely it'd have to be him. It couldn't be a deception. In a realm of deceptions, how could it be a deception?
Exactly like I had seen the pictures in the books and the Bibles. He was a Caucasian man with shoulder-length brown hair and a short brown beard. He had brown eyes. He was wearing a white robe.
He had brown eyes and a robe. Sometimes he has blue eyes. Sometimes Jesus has short hair. Sometimes he's 15 feet tall. Sometimes he's dark-skinned. Jesus appears to these people in very different ways. It's very inconsistent. But it doesn't matter. They just believe. Their belief is more powerful than the truth. Just believe. That's what they want to do. They don't want the truth. They just want to believe.
Robe. He had, I believe it was like a blue second robe over his tunic. He was wearing sandals on his feet. And the first thing...
He needs those sandals. And the blue was like my blue blanket that he was wearing.
And then he said that I had another option. I could come back to this life because if I don't come back, my children would not be raised right and they would go to hell.